Okay, so as I said before, I'm not very good at making videos. I'm not a huge fan of recording myself. I do say a lot. I do apologize for that. The With that being said, strangers. Why? What makes it different? Why is it? What is it about? Why should I want this product? First and foremost, Strangers is a time dimensional travel role playing game. It allows you, as the caretakers of time, to go in and out of time as needed to ensure that time flows smoothly and goes the way it's supposed to be. This will make the players that sometimes be seen as the heroes of a planet or a universe. Other times they will be the most vile villains that this galaxy has ever heard of. So it's not a good guy bad guy thing. It is doing what must be done to protect the timeline. I'm trying not to say the premise started back in the late 80s, early 90s. We came up with the idea. It was more or less about a way to bring characters from one game into another, from a sci-fi game into a fantasy game. It was about finding a loophole to be able to play a character somewhere it shouldn't be played, but yet make it not overpower or overshadow the existing game, the existing world. Strangers changed from conversion tables into its own actual game, probably about mid 90s. We started out with just conversion tables where we were like, we can convert any game into any game. Problem is, a lot of people would not have liked that, so we decided it was probably best to start our own with all of the D20, D10, D6 based games that were already on the market. We could only ever think of one that had existed that was a D% system. We decided it was best to go with that for ease of bringing in new players. Telling someone that their stats are based on a scale of 3 to 18 versus telling somebody on a scale of 1 to 100. Everybody understands it's scale of 1 to 10 times 10. Very simple. It's a percentage. The vast majority of people get that. So for us, that was an easy way to bring in new players, was to stick with something simple. If you have a 45 strength, you want to do something that requires a strength check, then roll 45 or less. Very simple. We eventually got into more creative character creation with Magic Number, Yours and Mine, all kinds of fun little add-ons we threw into the game. The randomness of it, we were finding a lot of people were continually choosing the same race, same power set, same everything, basically carbon copying their characters over and over and over again. So to alleviate that and to break people out of their molds and get them to try new things and make games more interesting, we made a good, I'll say 80 to 90% of character generation is random. I believe you can choose your gender and like your height, weight, hair color, eye color, stuff like that. Personality, race, how many powers you have over top of your racial powers, things like that. You get to pick your skills, but a lot of the character generation process is randomized for that specific purpose. So one of the frequently asked questions I get is, well, Steve, with character races like Experiment, where it's two races combined and you get all the bonuses of both races, but all the penalties of both races, doesn't that allow for min-max characters? Yes, it does. If your GM allows min-max characters, then those are included in the game. If your character does not, or if your GM does not allow min-max characters, then obviously that race of Experiment is off the table. Strangers is geared for role players by role players. We decided very quickly, very early on, the GM is the final say. We provide a book of guidelines. In your home game, your GM is the final say. There is no pulling open the rule book and saying, but Steve says on page 47.3, paragraph 9. No, your GM is the final say. That being said, we have had so many fun games where 90% of the time, 95% of the time, 99% of the time, I was the GM. I was the one that ran the game. And I had a blast doing it. I adore every one of my players. We had so much fun doing it. A lot of the players turned into NPCs and made it into the book. There were some that didn't. I want to do a hardcover book, like a limited edition hardcover book later on down the road. It will have more artwork. I wanted a lot more artwork, but that was not in the budget at this point. Hopefully, if the book sells well, taking that money and recycling it back into the company, I can release a hardcover version that has all of that artwork that I wanted, but also maybe a couple more races. Maybe I can get in touch with some of the old players and get some of their older characters that we loved, and add them to the book. Maybe change them a little bit here and there, kind of tweak them. Maybe make them a good guy or make them a bad guy in case they were a good guy the last time. And just kind of flush it out and have some fun with it. Yours and Mine was really a fun concept to come up with. Anytime you roll during character creation for a stat or a power or an ability, any ranking whatsoever, the GM will also roll at the exact same time, but he will hide his roll from you, and he will ask you, yours or mine? You can take your roll that you know what it is, or you can scrap your roll and take his. If you take his, you have to take his. You can't say, well, I'll take yours, and then, oh, that's garbage, I'm going to keep mine. The doubles rule, anytime you roll doubles, 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66. Anytime you roll doubles, you can re-roll it. In yours or mine, anytime the GM rolls doubles and hides it and you choose his, he's allowed to say, I have doubles, would you like me to re-roll it? He will not tell you what those doubles are. It could be an 11, it could be a 100, which is 0, 0. So in that aspect, you could give away 100 to roll a 23. So that almost an anxiety, almost a worry during character creation, making your character is a lot of fun. A lot of my players have loved it, enjoyed it, and have no intention of going back to any other game. I'm running low on time. This is a really long video. I'm so sorry. Any other questions? Feel free to message. Feel free. You can Facebook message me. You can Instagram message me. You can Twitter message me. Email me. sanderson0271@gmail.com. Anything you want to know that I haven't touched on, feel free. I'll probably do maybe a little blurb later on after the book's out and see if any of my players want to share their favorite characters, their favorite missions they've gone on, their favorite NPC to interact with, both good guy and bad guy. Just so many different things that I want to hear back from you guys. Once you purchase the book, once you've started your own gaming group, I would love for you guys to just post, send comments, send private messages. Let me know gaming sessions that you guys have come up with, characters that you've come up with. Some of your character sheets, I want to see them. Like, the whole premise is let's have some fun. If it's not fun, why are you doing it? Like, let's play. Thank you, and you guys have a great evening.